All right, hi Panthers. So what we're going to be doing is a mixed media collection of pumpkins. This is kind of like a pumpkin patch, but now we're going to be talking about using organic and geometric shapes within a composition like so. Multimedia, what that means is you guys can end up using things like colored pencils, crayons, and markers. So multimedia means we can use more than one type of coloring supplies. Okay, so let me walk you guys through how to get started just filling up your paper with all these fabulous pumpkins. I'm going to flip to a new sheet and I'm going to draw in Sharpie this time, all right? Let me turn my camera around and walk you guys through some of the basics here. So, what we can do is just begin doing all different sizes of pumpkins, and they don't all need to be circles. I always like to start with like a nice big one. And again, we're going with organic shapes. So that's one good start. And we can also create a texture by repeating lines. Remember last time we were all together, we created textures. Here's where we have geometric shapes. So circles, half circles, totally up to you guys. Again, I would draw in a marker. That way you don't have to Sharpie over everything when you're done. Little nose. And easy smile. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do a tall, skinny one. And again, you want it to be irregular. You want it to look like an odd-shaped pumpkin. Because just like people, they come in all shapes and sizes. Semicircles. And again, this is where you guys can do any sort of face you'd like to make on these pumpkins. I love having these look like little cute cartoon faces here. Here's another geometric shape. We have a nice triangle, and how about an organic shape? Of course, we could fill this in too. Let's do a little guy over here. You guys can do different patterns inside of the stem. And so what you're going to do is you're going to try to fill up your whole piece of paper with different shapes and sized pumpkins. Now, when we begin coloring, that is totally up to you on what you want to use. I'm going to select a couple crayons. I always like starting with crayons. I never use them that often, and I really should because you can find the most beautiful colors sometimes. So when I go to color, I like to make sure that I press down a little harder around the rim, around the edge. Press down a little harder around the edge, and then lighten it up when I start filling in the rest. Or if you want, you guys can also use more than one color on each pumpkin. You guys can put different patterns on your pumpkins. And they don't need to be realistic colors. This is kind of very cartoon-like. Let's see, what sort of color? I'm going to put a blue. Oh no, my crayon. Remember, when you guys break a crayon, it's okay. You could just go ahead and peel it. It still works. Okay, so what you guys can do is you're going to go ahead and we can use whatever materials you guys want. So I use crayons for one. I'm going to use some colored pencils for my next one. I want a blue pumpkin next, I think. I'm going to do this guy down here. And again, I'm going to push down a little harder with my colored pencil. This creates a value, creates a little bit of a shadow around your character, and then I'm going to lighten it up. This is particularly important skill to work on because later on this week we're going to be drawing 3D forms, and you do need to do a little bit of this sort of coloring and shadowing. Oh, I gotta color in that stem. Let's do a red-orange. Oh, and I have one more up here that needs some coloring. I think I'll just use markers for that one. Remember, this is mixed media, so you guys can use whatever colors you'd like to use and whatever materials you'd like to use. Now with markers, we can't exactly change the way we color it because it's marker, it's ink. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint it one flat color, one flat color, and then it also needs a color for a stem. I love having odd color combinations. This is going to make your paper look so cool and beautiful, and it's a great way to practice your coloring skills, your shading skills, and showing you the difference between organic and geometric shapes.